games 50 through 1 in IGN's top 100 video games of all time as we react to that shit. Joe, give me that countdown, homie.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get over here! Hi, I'm martial art master Daniel Pacina. You know me as the original Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, and Smoke. You are tuning in to NerdCage Live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Don't miss an episode or you'll get caged. So let's finish him.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe.
Okay.
Shoot it!
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom!
Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe. The galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCageLive.
This is Anthony Marquez, better known as Kung Lao for Mortal Kombat. Make sure to like and subscribe to NerdCage Live. Be there. Us.
Come on.
Our treasured left eye will never fall into the hands of another.
Hi, I'm Leah Montalongo, the OG Sindel. Please like, subscribe to NerdCage Live.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Jay St. G.
And I'm Joe from FallenOne Gaming.
And we have a special message from NerdCage Live and NerdCage Live Gaming. Because we know a lot of y'all like the game, right? Well, we decided here at NerdCage that we wanted to give away something special. A big thank you. Not only a thank you, but we need your help too. Joe, what is it that we're giving away?
We are giving away an Xbox Series X.
Yes! see, right here, still sealed. We are giving this sucker away. But in order for us to give this away, we need your help. Get us to 1,500 subscribers and we will give this away.
If you guys get us to 1,500 subscribers, this can be all yours.
United States and Canada only. We're not shipping all over the world, all right?
Yeah.
So here's how this is gonna happen. Get us to 1,500 subscribers, and then we're gonna release another video on how you can enter. This is not gonna be the only giveaway. So the first prize, obviously, will be the Xbox Series X, brand new, shipped right to you. Second prize will be a digital $100 gift card from Amazon.
Third place will be a $50 digital Amazon card.
Now listen, if you get us to 1,500 subscribers, just maybe, we'll do another giveaway. 1,500 subscribers, and this bad boy can be yours. Keep it tuned to NerdCage Live when we release the second video on how to enter once we hit 1,500 subscribers.
Greetings, citizens! You're now trapped in the nerd cage. We hope you have a smashing good time.
You're now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge. Hello and welcome. That's right, you are trapped in NerdCage Live. This channel is a celebration of all things pop culture. So please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, all that good shit. I am your co-host, J St. Motherfucking G, coming to you live from yours truly, Syracuse, New York. And reintroducing my panel, hailing from Portland, Oregon. It is our beautiful NerdCage queen. How you doing, pretty guardian?
I am so happy to be here and ready to go through this list. I was glancing at it, and I feel like 50 through 1, I think we're going to have a lot more fun because there's some good games to talk about in there.
Absolutely. And from Los Angeles, California, he is the one who nerds.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. I'm looking forward to getting back to this list. Call me a completionist. Let's finish this.
Absolutely. And you know him. He is our moderator and trollhammer, stronger than a DK Banana assignment. It's motherfucking Joe from FallenOne Gaming. What's poppin', dude?
As the rest of us, I am so eager to get back into this list. So many good games on here.
All right, before we get started, who we got in the chat, bro?
In the chat tonight, we have Doomzilla, Scott Bannock, and Shay Smithers.
Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
It's the usual suspects.
Yes, always nice to see NerdCage Nation in full force tonight on a Saturday night, nonetheless. We usually don't do Saturday nights, so but we didn't finish on Thursday, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to wait a week. Let's get it done. All right, so before we go any further, just a friendly reminder, of course, the NerdCage merch store is up, all right? So if you want to look fly, all right, get yourself a NerdCage Live shirt with the strength of geek knowledge on the back in men's and ladies. And if you're feeling frisky, we got the NerdCage Live Pornhub logo.
I'm turned on right now.
So any size, any color, order your goddamn shirts, because when you do, you are directly supporting the channel. So please, and come on, they're fucking awesome. And, you know, they look great. They feel great. 100% cotton, all that good shit.
And I believe TeePublic has their own discounts running right now, too.
Yes,
So.
yeah, I think the discount's good till tomorrow. Joe, you know the vibes. What is it that we're trying to give away right now?
We are giving away an Xbox Series X.
Yes.
So if you missed the promo earlier, yes, get us to 1,500 subscribers on YouTube, and we will give away an Xbox Series X, brand new, shipped to you, U.S. and Canada only. And Derek, what is going on Wednesday?
We doing Godzilla vs. King Kong?
Yes, 60th anniversary look back. Should be a hell of a lot of fun. We're gonna do it live. And we may have some special guests joining us. And it's going to be really, 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 really cool because if I'm not mistaken, 2 of the 4 people on screen right now have not seen the movie. So this should be a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to hearing their perspective of the film. And, of course, me and Derek being the kaiju geeks, we're definitely going to go into some history and more. So that should be a lot of fun. Joe, tell them about what we do every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, we are playing Bayonetta. Hashtag Bayonetta, our favorite bullet witch.
Yes, and tell them about your favorite game every Friday.
Every Friday, I'm playing my new favorite game, Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Yes, so that's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live, everybody. That being said, let's go through the list, starting with number 50. Pretty Guardian, kick us off.
At number 50, we have the game Earthbound, which is like a really good classic JRPG game. It was kind of one of the first ones that was like a JRPG set in kind of modern times. So definitely a classic and a lot of fun. I think it's a good game, deserves to be on the list.
Oh God, please don't kill me.
I'm ready.
I
I'm ready
tried so many times, and I just could not get hooked on it. I've attempted this game, and I don't know what I think it's what.
Ladies and gentlemen, that will be my exit of NerdCage. It was a pleasure to have been on for as long as I was, but times change. I'm sorry.
I tried, dude. I just feel like, okay, I think what it is, and maybe I'll have to try again. Maybe a third time's a charm. I just don't like the fact that you can't see the attacks. It's all descriptive, and I'm not too wild about it.
Wow, Scott and you agree on something. That's a first on NerdCage Live.
Maybe we shouldn't have you play Dungeons and Dragons, dude. I don't know. It's all descriptive. You won't see shit.
Among all the RPG games, turn-based RPG games on Super Nintendo, I feel like there's better options out there. Whether if it's a Final Fantasy IV, Super Mario RPG, I just think, I don't know, Earthbound just didn't do it for me. I tried.
I feel like the simplicity in combat was outweighed by the story and kind of the new ideas that were being brought forth. As Maggie mentioned, it was set in a modern time, so it wasn't Final Fantasy. It was something else entirely, and we can't ignore the inspirations that it would later go on to produce. What was the oh dang it, I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head. There's another game that was very similar to it, and I'm drawing a blank. Came out a few years ago and is very, very popular. So yeah, I think that it's a great game and well worthy of its position on the list. I think 50 is fair.
Okay, that's well said. It just didn't do it for me. So, all right. So, Pretty Garden, what would you say to me to be like, all right, why should I try it one more time?
I wouldn't. Honestly, I'm already over it. Let's move on to number 49.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So, boy.
I didn't put my 2 cents in because I haven't played it. I plan on maybe playing it when the remaster comes.
Okay, so I think Pretty Guardian's going to be able to tackle these ones really good. So Diablo 2 is number 49.
How do you know I can tackle them?
Yes, go for it. Floor is yours.
Oh, okay. I love Diablo 2. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's on my top 10 game list. I think that whole era of Blizzard games, both Diablo 2 and StarCraft, are just amazing. With Diablo 2, I love the action gameplay. I love the art style because it was kind of more of a realistic, almost claymation sort of art style. A lot of Gothic influences. And then the story, I was also very engaged by that. There's a lot of lore for their little world of Sanctuary and the hells and the demons and the angels and the whole war that's happening between them. So definitely a really cool game, and I'm glad it made the list. I would have put it lower, like down. I would have put it in the top 10.
Well said.
Right
I actually do. I'm not like a huge Diablo person, but I do agree it belongs on this list. I don't know if I would put it at 49. I think maybe in the 30s, just because it was all the rage as far as PC gaming goes.
That's fair.
Yeah. Derek, what's your take on that?
I never played them. I only recently got my PC built, so I missed out on both Diablo and StarCraft.
All right.
Yeah, I missed out on all the Diablos because, you know, I haven't been a PC gamer since I was probably 5 years old.
All right. I could actually chime in on the next
Windows 93 era of PC gaming.
So
I
48
missed out on a
though.
lot.
We played a lot of fucking StarCraft after school in high school.
Yes, we did.
Particularly freshman and sophomore year.
In fact, I don't know if you can see that. It's a StarCraft mousepad. There you go.
Yes. So I'm actually glad
Very
like
cool.
StarCraft made the list. It's really the only PC game that I got into growing up. And plus, you know, I had a raggedy ass computer and what do you call it? Dial-up. And StarCraft actually played well over dial-up. So yeah, that was a revolution for us. You know, growing up in the dial-up era. So Miss Guardian, I definitely want to hear your take on StarCraft.
Well, so one of the things that I'll add is I really loved the storyline of StarCraft, particularly with its conclusion in StarCraft 2 and everything. The whole corruption of Sarah Kerrigan becoming the Queen of Blades, and then like her redemption, I just thought was amazing. And to this day, probably one of the best sci-fi stories I've ever been able to enjoy.
Honestly, I just played online against friends. I usually was the Protoss race, you know, and yeah, it was just fun playing online. I never really played the story mode or solo. So, yes. All right, moving on to Joe. What we got next?
Number 47 is World of Warcraft.
I'm not a Warcraft guy, but I'm surprised it's not lower on the list, like in the top 20. Honestly, that's my take.
Derek, Maggie, anything?
I think it was a good game for its time. I don't know. I think it definitely deserves to be on the list. I think 47 is probably kind of a fair place for it.
Okay, okay.
I cannot deny its influence over the MMORPG genre.
Right.
I played from Burning Crusade all the way to Wrath of the Lich King, and I mean it when I say I would put it at 100.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely has a rabid fan base, and it spawned some great South Park episodes. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Absolutely. And fun fact, the Video Game Hall of Fame is in yours truly, Rochester, New York. You know, about an hour and a half from where Joe and I live. And the first year of its ceremony, the first induction ceremony, World of Warcraft was one of the first games that got in. Just cool little fun fact for you guys. And yes, and I'm with Joe, that goddamn South Park episode was fantastical. All right, I'm completely staying out of this. I'm staying out of this next one.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you have to use the restroom or anything like that, Jay, now is the time to do it. Because 46 is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Let's go.
Why? Okay, whatever.
Oh no, that was more like
You
I'm
hate
excited.
it?
Let's
What
go.
is that? Okay.
Arguably one of the best Star Wars games out there.
Oh yeah.
Nobody can deny that.
That's not saying much.
So it definitely belongs on this list. I don't know if I'd put it at 46, but it definitely belongs on this list.
Where did you put it?
It's higher than that for sure.
Okay.
I think
It's definitely, and by higher I mean lower numbers, higher score.
I'm really hoping we get a remake or remaster because I think it had a great story and some good mechanics in there, but I think like a more modern day polish to it. it would be like an incredible game.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think they are gearing up for a remake of it. So.
Oh god.
That's been rumored for a while. I mean, I think the only like good Star Wars game is Rogue Squadron. So
I stand beside Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO. I think it's a good game.
You like pod racing on N64, Jay?
Oh god, oh my god, I'd rather play like the actually the ones on Super Nintendo weren't terrible, but oh god, the pod racer game, Jesus Christ, oh my god, there was no redeeming qualities there.
Jay.
No redeeming qualities there. All right, let's move on, Joe. What we got next?
All right, number 45, Fallout New Vegas.
Wait a minute, was that? I thought this was the one that everybody hated. Why is this on the list?
They'd be wrong.
Fallout New Vegas is beloved.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, 76 no one likes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm getting it confused with 76. All right, my bad.
I have a soapbox ready. I let you two go first, or let you three go first.
All right.
I got nothing, so whoever wants to chop it up.
I haven't played many hours of the Fallout games, but what I did play, I did enjoy. So, I mean, it does have their own fan base. It does belong on the list. I don't know if I'd put it this high, but it does belong on the list.
As far as I'm concerned, it's the last good Fallout game. But I'm definitely interested in what Derek has to say about it.
I 100% agree with Maggie. I believe that 4 was a solid attempt, but but it wasn't as good. I feel like New Vegas not only had everything that made its the predecessors great. I don't think it ever got better than New Vegas. I also have a personal bias. I will stand by and say a weapon I helped make made it into New Vegas. If you guys ever get your hands on New Vegas and get the Gunrunner's Arsenal and you pick yourself up a Nuka Breaker, I helped make that.
Nice. All right, so you're part of gaming history, homie.
A little bit. Yeah, we did a web series, and while we were making that web series, New Vegas was coming out, and they made a nod to us, and then we made it in real life as a nod to them. So I literally helped create it in real life. It was awesome.
Awesome.
Great. Number 44, we have Final Fantasy VI. I can't really weigh in.
Why is 6 higher than 7?
I don't know.
Why is 6 higher than 7? So I mean, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, but Final Fantasy 7 was like everything. And why is I find it kind of odd that 6 is over here and 7 was way up in the 80s. So someone explain to me. Pretty Guardian, what do you got?
6 was really beloved for its stories and its characters. It had like really strong characters in the Final Fantasy series. I definitely say it's one of the standout games. I understand where you're coming from with Final Fantasy VII. I definitely think Final Fantasy VII should have been closer to number 1 than it was. But I feel like Final Fantasy VII was mostly so popular because of the graphical changes that happened there. Whereas Final Fantasy VI kind of stands up for like the heart of what it was.
All right, fair enough. I am the one who nerds. What do you got?
I missed that on this one.
Okay. All right, Joe. I say we move on then.
All righty, Jay, you can tackle this one. 42 is Metroid, or no, 43.
No.
I'll give this one to Pretty Guardian. I'll give the next one to you.
I'll handle the next one.
I was jumping the gun on that. 43 is Pokemon Yellow.
Pretty Guardian, all you.
Oh, you know, I love Pokemon, and I definitely think it deserves to be on this list. I don't feel like there was anything special really about Pokemon Yellow. I definitely wouldn't have put that one on there. My personal favorite is Pokemon XY, but I know that the fan community doesn't necessarily agree with that one. I still don't think I would have put Pokemon Yellow though. Maybe,
that's
I don't know.
a bit of a head scratcher. Like the only difference between Yellow and Red and Blue was the fact that your Pikachu follows you around. And the yellow pigment. So I don't know why this one over the others.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if they eeny, meeny, miny mode for the color and just
Maybe that's it.
That's definitely possible.
I mean, I feel like everybody's at least in agreement here that yellow was the wrong pick. 'Cause I'm looking at the chat right now. Doomzilla is saying no gold or silver, so.
See, so Derek, when you were mentioning like Pikachu following you around, I'm like, well, then I would have picked like gold or silver or something. So I'm glad to see Doom kind of threw that on there.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think that would have been a stronger choice than yellow.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And that brings us to 42, Jay, which is Metroid Prime.
Oh my girl, Samus cracks the list for the first time. Okay. Again, let me just iterate the fact that I do prefer 2D Metroid over 3D Metroid. But it was Metroid Prime that launched the GameCube and probably made the GameCube for what it was. Like, the popularity of besides, I would say it would be Metroid Prime, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and maybe, even though it's not one of my favorites, but Wind Waker. But Metroid Prime, by all means, belongs on this list. I think it's good. It's a good placement just because for what it did for the GameCube. But as far as the Metroid series, I like Metroid Prime. I like Prime 2 better than Prime 1. That's just my opinion. I know the argument is. I know there's a lot of people argue for 1 or. I mean, we all can agree that 3 is the weakest one, but I thought 2 was better than 1. But I'm glad Metroid Prime's on here. It belongs on here. Just for the sake of what it did for GameCube and what it did for Metroid. And we're still, to this day, we're waiting for Metroid Prime 4. And another thing, too, is how smoothly it ran. So that's just another thing. It's just, yeah, as far as, like, 3D, first-person sci-fi shooters, yeah, it belongs on here. Okay, I'm done. Whoever else wants to chime in.
I agree with you, Jay. I think that was a great discussion on that. So,
yeah, you said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll move on to 41. 41 is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Derek, Maggie, I'll let you take these.
All right. Well, so I love Skyrim. I think it's an amazing game. The way they really set it up is they gave you this like great big open world to explore. You could be like whoever you wanted to be in this world. So for anybody who loves role playing, it's like a role player's wet dream. Just an amazing fantasy setting. And aesthetically, I loved like the gray and the snow and a lot of that setting as well. So I thought it was a lot of fun on multiple fronts. I do think the game deserves to be closer to number 1 than it is. And my reason is because this was kind of one of the first like open world games to really become this popular. I don't think we would have open world games the way they are today if Skyrim hadn't have been the success that it was.
Oblivion's better.
Excellent. All right. Derek, you got anything?
Yeah. I had like, God, must have been like 300 hours put into this game, not even joking. And like, it's hard to ignore just how hard it's going to be for Bethesda to top themselves with this game. No matter what comes out, that's an incredibly hard bar to jump. I feel like Maggie said everything that covers this topic. Yeah, I think.
Well, and it was so in depth.
Oh my God, yeah.
I know people who have spent literally 1,000 hours exploring every nook and cranny of this game, and they'll still log in and find more things that they've never seen before.
I'm going to say shout out to the mods, like, for example, the Randy Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
There's also like I will say that is actually a really good point, is because of the mods, a lot of people got jobs. Over the years, over the many iterations that Skyrim has gotten, there have been some great quality of life changes. Like, you can go in now and you can get like God rays on some versions of the game, and some people have actually changed it up to a third-person action style game, which is kind of amazing. And because of that, because of that modification, Bethesda's like, hey, we need you. You're now employed. Come here. So I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm also really looking forward to Sky Oblivion. There's like a whole team of mods that are updating Oblivion for like the Skyrim engine and graphics and everything. It looks amazing. They've come a long way, but it's Sky Oblivion. Check it out.
Nice.
All right.
All right, next one. Me and Jay are gonna go toe-to-toe on this one. 40 is Resident Evil 4. Now, I will be a little nicer, and I will say that it does belong on the list.
Yes.
But it doesn't belong here.
Exactly. Like I said, Switch 4 with 2 remake, and I am fine. Yeah. That's the only mistake this list, one of the most egregious mistakes this list made is 4 being at 40 and 2 remake being in the 80s. Just switch to 2 and I'm fine. No way, no how Resident Evil 4 is better than Resident Evil 2 remake. Resident Evil 4 ruined the series by turning the survival horror into third-person action, but the third-person action is what brought us Gears of War and a whole bunch of other great games. But to me, Resident Evil 4 is not Resident Evil, it's the adventure of Leon. But yeah, switch 4 with 2 remake and we are good. Fuck you to anybody who wants to argue with me.
Derek?
I loved 4 for its time. Back when it was on PS2, I loved the idea, but it wasn't because it was a horror game. It wasn't a horror game anymore. It was something so different. I feel like if it had a different title, it would have been a smash hit for Capcom. So no matter what, they were gonna win. But I agree. I think that the 40 needs to be swapped to 80 and 80 needs to be swapped to 40 because 2 remake is just that good.
Yeah. Now, that being said, I am still excited for the remake of 4.
But that's another thing. Like, I really don't think 4 needs a remake because it still holds up all right. So I really don't know how much they can improve upon it, honestly. Given the style of...
I guess we'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah, really. We'll see. And we will definitely play it on NerdCage Live Gaming! on like, yeah, that's like, we're going to prioritize it. We'll probably play it on Tuesday and Friday just to, just to get through it. Miss Guardian, what do you got on Resident Evil 4 and how do you feel about it at this placement?
I haven't played it, so I'll take your word for it.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, this next one, Pretty Guardian, you can take this next one here. I'm pretty sure it's one of your specialties here.
Well, so I haven't played this one either, and I'm actually ashamed of that because Shadow of the Colossus, I feel like definitely deserves its place at number 39. There's a lot of like artistic and stylistic elements that were very strong in it. So it's definitely one that I would love to revisit at some point.
I absolutely adore this game. When it came out on the PS2 to the PS, like I think they did the remake on PS4.
Yeah, like remaster. That's the one I played.
Yeah, like there's actually very little difference. Like they're like obviously there are graphical upgrades, but the story is so simplistic. It's told in literal gibberish, but you understand exactly what's being said. The combat is also simplistic, but because of the nature of the combat, it's very easy to pick up. Like, you know what you have to hit, you just have to find it. It's a beautiful game. It's stunning.
I enjoyed it, and it does belong on the list.
Absolutely. I would say even 39 is a fair placement.
Okay, that's what I was going to be my question to all you, is because I've never played, so is that a good placement?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, moving on to 38, The Last of Us Part 2.
Is The Last of Us Part 1 further down on the list?
I just looked
at
at
17. I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I would probably not even put this one on the list, and I would just keep Part 1 down there at its spot. And we'll talk about that one when it comes up.
Okay.
I did play Last of Us Part 2 because I was excited for because of Last of Us Part 1. And I understand what they were going for. And in a lot of places they succeed, but in a lot of places they fail. And because of that, I'm actually okay with this placement. I would even actually put it a couple notches down, maybe in the low 40s. But I think it's definitely not its predecessor. Yeah, so drop it a few notches and
Do you think it was a more influential game than Shadow of the Colossus?
No. I mean, like, I would put it. Let's see. Okay, maybe I'd drop it a little bit further than 40.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, like I put it in the low 50s.
Okay.
I just had to scroll to like remind myself what was there. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I just couldn't take the fact that they killed off, one of your most beloved characters and, tried to horseshoe real world elements into it that really didn't need to be in there. But other than that, I mean, the gameplay and the graphics themselves, were enough to make the game enjoyable for me. So I do believe it belongs on the list.
All right.
All right. That being said, 37, Red Dead Redemption.
Way too high. Way too high. And the fact that it's above the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, I think it's a little outrageous. I don't think Red Dead Redemption belongs like in the 90s or 80s. It's Grand Theft Auto in the Wild West.
Yeah.
Nothing original. Way too high. That's just my opinion. So, anyone want to fight me? Go ahead.
I really like Red Dead Redemption, and I would still say that I kind of agree with you, Jay. It was a good game, but to your point, it's Grand Theft Auto on horses. So,
It
if
was
it
made
were
a
in the
little better
90s or 80s,
when
I
they
think
pushed
that.
the online. When they put online into it, I think that made it better. But
like I said, I'm not saying it's a bad game by any stretch. It's just
no.
But it's at 37. Come on. Like,
Come on.
Obviously, I mean, I think this is IGN playing a little bit favoritism towards Rockstar Games or something. So, yeah, that's all I got. Derek, what about you?
Played it, loved it. Don't know that it necessarily belongs this high up.
Thank you. All right. So we're all in agreement. Great game, but 37's way too generous.
I mean, it's above Silent Hill 2. That feels like a travesty.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
All right, this next one will get the chat hopping. 36 is Metal Gear Solid. Jay, now that you've played it, you can actually weigh in.
First and foremost, let me just say thank you for making my first time memorable, everybody. I'll say this. The game's controls have aged badly, but man, that was a great fucking story. It was a great fucking story. It was a wild ride. I absolutely enjoyed myself. Yeah, and Snake is definitely was in our Mount Rushmore of. He didn't make the Mount Rushmore, but he was the honorable mention. So I'm fine with Metal Gear Solid being placed where it is. I just, I'm assuming one of the sequels is above it. I'm assuming. Okay, so I think it's fair placement. I'm glad it's there. And like I said, it was one of the most compelling stories I've played in a long ass time. And that's all I got. I'm not mad at the placement.
Yeah, and all I can say is if Hideo Kojima ever starts making movies, I'm definitely going to the theater to watch them.
I mean, he practically already does.
I know, right? But yes, this belongs on the list for sure. This is definitely a classic.
Yes.
Derek, Maggie, anything? Dad?
Nothing from me. I haven't played it.
That's all right. I just played for the first time just a couple months ago, so.
Oh, cool.
This was my introduction to the PlayStation 1, and it would follow me to this day. I love this game series. The franchise is fantastic. Hideo Kojima is either a crazed lunatic or a crazed genius, and I can't tell you which. The fact that he made, he blueprinted out the entire map system with Legos beforehand, and then would place cameras all around the Legos to be like, oh yeah, so this would be camera 1, and you would see Snake this way. That's some kind of genius that I don't think we have a name for yet.
Yeah.
And I won't go too much further because there is another entry, and from the series, that I think is worthy placement. I also think that this is a pretty good spot too.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
All right, moving on to 35. Sid Meier's Civilization 4.
I mean, as far as PC, okay, I'll say this. I've never played it, but as far as PC gaming goes, how is this above StarCraft, World of Warcraft, Sims? Like, how is this above
I'm with you
it?
on that. Yeah.
That's just weird to me. Like, again, I'm not a PC gaming guy, but I know Diablo and, you know, World of Warcraft and StarCraft and the Sims, I feel like were bigger as far as influence on gaming than this.
Yeah.
So that's my
I'll
take.
agree.
Anyway,
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely think Civilization deserves to be on the list, like that franchise. Definitely not 35 though, not above StarCraft. That's crazy.
Absolutely. 100%. It should be, I'd probably put it in, if anything, if it's gonna be on this list, I'd say in the 90s. Again, I think IGN got most of these games right. Just the placement is making us scratch our heads. This is why we're in the meat and potatoes here.
Yeah.
Joe, shall we move on?
Yes, 34 is a game we are currently playing. Shameless plug. Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh my God, yes! Good placement, good pick. Possibly the best Nintendo 64 game. I love everything about this game. It's not perfect. I'll say that. It's not perfect, but it's my second favorite Zelda game, and this is where the narrative took off. It fucked the timeline in a good way. And every single like Zelda game has some kind of like you know, this game had influence on all the Zelda games moving forward and really fleshed out, you know, the characters, the races, Hyrule. This is technically our first introduction to Ganon Dwarf, not just Ganon Dwarf, the human form. Like, oh my God, this game's just... And even playing it last night, I was getting the feels, even though I was kind of going ham on the jokes and stuff, but this game still gives me the feels, and yeah, I am fine where it's placed. I mean, I'd even put it higher, but there are better Zelda games that we will be discussing in a little bit, but I'm glad Ocarina of Time's on here, and just remember, even if you weren't around, okay, Christmas 1998, this game was all the rage, okay? People were fist fighting trying to get this game for Christmas, okay? This game broke sales records at the time. This game ultimately, I wouldn't go as far as saying it saved the Nintendo 64, because Nintendo 64 was doing good, but this put Nintendo 64 at the pinnacle. And if I have to pick the three best Nintendo 64 games, in my opinion, it's Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, and Perfect Dark. And because I thought Perfect Dark was the better version of GoldenEye, but by all means, like, this is like, I think this is the best Nintendo 64 game. It really is.
I'll say this: the late '90s, it was the hardest time in my life to make a Christmas list because there was so much good stuff out there.
1998 was a great year for gaming. Let's just get that out of the way. 1998 was a great year for gaming. It might be on the Mount Rushmore of like gaming years. It really is.
Yeah.
All right, I said enough, so please, I want to hear what the two of you have to say on one of the greatest games ever.
I don't have a lot to say on it. I just want to agree with you, Jay. This game really was, I mean, it was one of the games that shaped like the N64's success and, you know, the rest of the Zelda series to follow. So it deserves its spot.
And you watched us last night. We saw you in the chat. So
yeah, I popped in there.
So any thoughts on like what you? Not on us. I'm saying on the game. When you were watching us play the game, what were your thoughts on Ocarina of Time in general?
I like that it started incorporating a little more story in there. Like there's kind of some, I don't know, deeper lore to the Zelda universe. And then I also kind of like how it switched up the gameplay mechanics, like the fighting and the puzzles and the bosses and stuff. I felt like that was really cool to watch. And I think especially for a game of its time, like there was really nothing else like that on the market at that time.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like it's the best narrative as far as a Zelda game. It's not the best Zelda game, but I think it's the best Zelda narrative. Derek, before we move on, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Frankly, you guys have said it all. I love the game. I didn't get my hands on it until quote unquote fairly recently. But yeah, you guys have said it all for me.
Okay, where would you put this among the rest of the Zelda series?
As I haven't played a lot of the Zelda franchise.
From all the games you played so far.
Probably where it is. I would definitely put it top 5.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And
probably top 2.
All right, moving on to 33, which is Minecraft.
Oh boy, the highest selling video game of all time.
Yes, it is.
Fun fact, it's true. It's officially, I think, was it last year or the year before it became the highest of all time.
Yeah.
So, a lot of digging.
Have you?
That's a lot of digging. That's all I can remember from playing it. So,
I love the world building in it. Like, there are a lot of people out there that are very creative. I just saw somebody the other day that made what's the dragon's name in Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, Shenron?
Yeah, somebody made an entire full-size Shenron in Minecraft.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that was beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah.
I think Minecraft taps into that same creative part of the human brain that like playing with Legos does. And so for that, I think it's a really awesome concept. And I think it definitely deserves its spot.
Absolutely.
I'm conflicted. Does it belong on the list? Absolutely. It's the highest selling game of all time. I just 33 seems a little much. I'd say maybe 50. Somewhere in the 50s. Yeah. That's just me.
I agree.
All right, Joe, this one's all you. This one's
all
all
32
you.
is Halo Combat Evolved, the original. Definitely belongs on this list. I believe it should be. I haven't seen the rest of the list. I haven't skimmed through the top ones yet. But if there aren't any other Halos on this list, this belongs a hell of a lot higher.
I feel that Halo. Okay, as far as first-person shooters is concerned, I already discussed that it was really Doom and Wolfenstein that really started the craze. GoldenEye like revolutionized it even better. I think Halo was the next one. I think Halo after GoldenEye. I mean, yes, there was other shooters after that, but it was Halo was like the next step of like shooting games.
I'll say the first Halo introduced us to the story that is the Halo, but Halo 2 is what started Xbox Live.
Yes.
That was the game.
Who should be there instead of Halo 1? Just because of what you just said.
Oh, it's above it. Yeah.
Okay, then fine. Okay, then Halo 2, then Halo is fine, and it's Microsoft. It's basically Microsoft's Mario.
Yeah.
You know, it absolutely belongs where it is. That's all I got.
Yeah. Or did it Master Chef?
Alrighty. If there's nothing else on Halo, 31 is Half-Life.
Never played. Don't kill me, y'all.
I played Half-Life 2, which I believe is also further down on the list. I have not played Half-Life 1. I'm also currently playing Half-Life Alyx in VR. Fantastic.
Okay. Anything else on Half-Life? Okay, Derek, you seem to be the one that knows the most about it. Good placement, bad placement?
Considering what it did for PC gaming, to use your analogy, he would be Gordon Freeman would basically be the Mario for PC gaming.
Okay.
So I think a little higher would be justified. Not by much, maybe like 20.
Okay.
I agree with you, Derek.
That works.
Oh, here we go.
All right, number 30
Wait. Maggie, have you played Half-Life?
Yes. Well, so I was 8 years old when it came out, so I played it as a youngster. Like I was between 8 and 10 years old. But it was a very influential game for its time on PC, and kind of within that like sci-fi shooter horror genre. Like I don't feel like we'd have games like Dead Space and stuff like that if Half-Life didn't have the success that it had. So I agree with its placement. I also agree that somebody who like loves this genre could probably argue it up a little higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So number 30 is Final Fantasy 14.
It's just amazing that we're on the third Final Fantasy game, and yet 7 was the lowest one. But that's all I got on that. But it's cool if you're a Final Fantasy fan. You got 3 out of 100. You're 3%. Like, wow.
Can't speak to this one because of what happened with World of Warcraft. I do not touch MMORPGs. I just don't. Like, I have friends who are like, "Hey, man, you really like 14," and I'm like, "I believe you. That's why I'm not touching it." Because fact of the matter is I get way too addicted into games like that, and I have a job now. I have a life. Like, if I fall into that, I'm done.
Yeah.
I just know myself too well. It's not that it's a bad game. It's just that I'm a bad player.
Okay. Miss Guardian.
So I think there's something kind of funky happening with there being all these Final Fantasies on here and like the placement of them or whatever. I don't personally love Final Fantasy 14, but when it launched, it was a total shit show of a game. Like, the gameplay really kind of sucked, and there was a lot of like bugs and like weird stuff with it. But the developers basically went back and like reworked the game from the ground up. In the chat, I think it was Doomzilla mentioned A Realm Reborn. That was their first, like, a year later after they had fixed the game and relaunched it. It was A Realm Reborn. So I think there's a lot of people who really love this game, probably more so than a lot of the other MMORPGs out there.
And I'm just like I said, I'm just baffled of the. Again, I'm not mad at it being here. I just think it's just a weird order. That's all. That's just.
I agree completely. Yeah.
All right.
29 is Doom.
Hell yeah, bro. Yes, Doom absolutely had to be on this list. I feel like this is the game that just was the birth of first-person shooters as we know it. What's amazing, 1994, and this game still holds up.
There you go, Doomzilla. You made the list.
There he is, finally.
Yeah, I am happy with its placement. I even dare say it should be in the teens.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Lars? Sorry, he's like about to knock my computer over. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you guys can see him right. Oh, now he's gone.
Lars is like, I think it needs to be lower, just like this laptop.
Yeah, and he messed up my camera too. There. But yes, Doom, awesome placement. It's worthy. That's all I got. If anybody wants to, speak on it.
The first time I played Doom was way back in the day on a DOS computer. I think it had like, I don't know, 4 to 6 hard disks that were used to install it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great game. It deserves its spot.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking with Maggie on this one, where my first experience, this was my Grand Theft Auto for a long time. This was the game I was not allowed to play. This was my taboo. So to like actually get my hands on it when nobody was looking was already a crime in and of itself. But to like rip and tear through your opponents with a freaking chainsaw, and like it, yeah, I have no words. I think I agree that it does belong to a little bit higher just because of the prestige Doom has.
I would put it like at 17 or something. That's where I would put it. Yeah. Like I said, I think we're all in agreement. Like, I think this is one of the rare cases of NerdCage unanimous decisions here. All
right. 28 is Tetris.
I can't hate on that. I love Tetris. I cannot hate on this at all. Yeah, I got nothing. And dude, Tetris 99. Anyone?
When I go to gaming conventions, I still see people doing like Tetris tournaments and stuff all the time, which I think is fun.
Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
An OG. It absolutely belongs
is.
on here, and I think, dare I say, it launched the Game Boy. Yeah, and like it doesn't matter. There's been so many reiterations. Okay, personally, my favorite Tetris is Tetris Attack. on Super Nintendo, but it's really not Tetris per se. But it's a pure Tetris. Like, you can't go wrong with Tetris or Tetris 2. And Tetris 99 is the fucking shit, dude. I'm telling you, listen, if anybody has a Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Online, Tetris 99 is free. All right? Get on it. Now, confession, I've never won a Tetris 99 match. The highest I got was 13. But my God, is it fucking fun. Yes. That's all I got.
Alrighty. So, 27 is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Go ahead, Derek.
Well, actually, I'm going to take a quick step back. Does anybody else want to say anything on this?
All right. Snake Eater is probably my second favorite Metal Gear Solid game. That being said, I haven't played 4 or 5 all the way through, so I can't really lump them in with that. But of the first 3 games, I think it's my second favorite.
This is my favorite Metal Gear Solid game. Beyond questionable doubt, beyond reason, this is a masterpiece of the PS2. Just how much they were able to cram into this itty bitty disc. The amount of Easter eggs. One of my personal favorites. I talk about it a little in my my upcoming video, but you can actually kill one of the bosses without ever firing a shot. All you need to do is save your game, change the clock forward 1 year, and he dies of old age.
Mm-hmm.
There's other crazy things, like there's actually a mini game. If you pass out at a certain point in the game, you get a scrapped idea Kojima just snuck into the code of 3. And that's not even getting into the story. That's not even getting into like some of the great nods. There's a Godzilla reference in there because Snake had never heard of Godzilla and it had come out right around that time.
Oh my
awesome. God. Just the amount of replayability. I must have played that game like 7-8 times, and it was different every single time. Mm-hmm. Jay, you talked about not being able to play stealth games because you prefer to like go in Rambo.
Yes.
You can go in Rambo.
Okay.
Go in Rambo. That is a valid strategy.
I'm actually generally looking forward to playing Metal Gear Solid 3 on NerdCage Live. Say it with me, everybody. Gaming. But I'm gonna do right by this franchise, and we're gonna play 2 first, and then 3. I'll say this right here, right now. Even though we have the rest of 2022 planned, 2023 we will play Metal Gear Solid 2. I promise. That may actually be the first game we play in January. Honestly, I'm generally looking forward to getting to 3. But we gotta do Sons of Liberty first. But we're gonna do Sons of Liberty, and then we will eventually get to 3.
You got the GOAT Phil Lamar doing Vamp in that one, so get excited. That's a fun one.
Yeah, I am. You know, you've all sold me on Metal Gear Solid. You've all sold me on it. As much as I crap on the game, the controls, everybody told me that Metal Gear Solid 2 onward, the controls are great, and that's good to know.
Yeah.
All
right. So, 26, Half-Life Alyx. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think that this one got like sparkle points for being on VR, and I don't necessarily think that it's better than any of the other Half-Life games. So I feel like if it were to be on the list, I don't think it should be at 26.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I do actually agree. I agree that I probably made it this far because it is VR. That said, it is actually a surprisingly deep VR game. Like, for a lot of VR, it's still kind of in jank mode. They're still working to make it a bit more viable. But in Alex's case, like, when you look at something like a Coke can, it's not grafted to the environment. You can pick it up, you can throw it, you can pop a shot at it and watch the physics take over. It flows seamlessly. That said, I don't know that it belongs over Half-Life because the original, because of the prestige Half-Life has.
Okay. Well said. Well said. Oh.
25, Jay. 25 is God of War.
I don't think he liked it.
Boy, did I have a fucking blast with you guys. Again, you guys made my first time memorable. You guys were awesome. Everybody in the chat was awesome. Joe, you were awesome. I cannot wait to get into the rest of the series, and I am definitely sold on this franchise. And to me, Kratos is definitely the PlayStation representative. I'm perfectly fine with God of War being at 25. Maybe a little generous, but I'm not mad at the 25 placement.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I agree. I love this game. It's much like Metal Gear Solid. This was the game that got me into this franchise in particular. I hesitate to say anymore, but I do love this game.
Excellent.
All right, Pretty Guardian, anything?
No, I think that the God of War name is a huge franchise and it deserves its spot at 25.
Okay.
All right.
24 is Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger is such a great game.
Yep.
I used to love it as a kid. Just the colorful fantasy graphics and the action RPG gameplay. It was lovely.
Hands down, one of the best titles on Super Nintendo. Definitely, I still think Mario RPG is better. Sorry, I'm a Mario guy, but Chrono Trigger is probably like right there with as far as like RPG goes on Super Nintendo. It's right there. I'm fine with it being at 24. I'm a little surprised. I'm surprised being that it wasn't like Pretty Guardian. It wasn't like a Super Smash hit on Super Nintendo, so I'm surprised it's high as it is.
Oh, okay. You came at me sideways on that one. I thought so. I would actually argue that Chrono Trigger probably deserves to be closer to number 1. This is one of the most influential JRPGs of all time. Just like it, and really the people who created it, like they had the dream team as far as like the story writers, the music composers. I don't know. I'm surprised to hear you say that.
It's a great game. Don't get me wrong, it's a great game. I'm not mad at it. I'm just like I said, just based on like as far as like the other Super Nintendo games go, it wasn't, like I said, it really wasn't like the highest selling game, and then that's why I'm just a little surprised it's at 24.
I think what Jay is getting at is that this was marketed more heavily in Japan than it was here.
Yeah.
So
we had kind of an issue here in the West as far as bringing over a lot of those JRPGs. And I don't really know what the deal was with that.
Yeah. No, it's an amazing game. I'm happy it's there. I am.
Okay.
Derek, anything on Chrono Trigger?
I had maybe 10 games on the Super Nintendo as a kid. This was not one of them. I've missed this boat, and everything I hear about it is like, yes, I love the idea of this game, but I've never actually sat down and played it.
Okay, I'm just going to message to Nintendo. Please bring this on the Switch. Please, like remake it, because the Chrono, what was the one on PlayStation? Chrono.
The other one, what's the other
Chrono
one?
Cross?
Yeah.
Chrono Cross, yeah. So they remade Chrono Cross, but they ignored Chrono Trigger. Shame on you, Nintendo.
That just shows you how influential the name is. I've never played the games, but I know them in chronological order.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, 23 is Portal.
This is a triumph. It deserves to be here. Love the game. It's even better with friends.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
All right, I got nothing.
Pretty Guardian. Anything on Portal?
I think that the gameplay for Portal, as far as the puzzles and the physics and everything, really speaks for itself. It's a great game and deserves to be at number 23.
All righty. 22 is my favorite Street Fighter of all time, Street Fighter 2.
Good choice, Joe.
Well, Street Fighter 2 Turbo to be exact, but yeah.
Hard to argue a fantastic roster, great locales, a substantial improvement over its predecessor. What more can I say? This game is excellent, and it is probably the Street Fighter game I am most familiar with.
Jay?
Mortal Kombat's better!
I was going to say, if there's any direct competitor with Mortal Kombat, this is the one.
It pains me as a diehard Mortal Kombat fan to see Street Fighter 2 this far above Mortal Kombat. That's all. It's a stab in my heart right now to see it. Like, I'm like, oh God, like really? Ow, how, why?
I hear you. I feel your pain, Jay.
Yes, it's painful for me. It really is.
All right, maybe I can lighten your mood a little bit with the next one. 21 is Super Mario Brothers.
All right. Good placement. It's a good placement because I'm just gonna tell you there were better. I understand what it did for gaming. It saved the gaming industry. Let's get that out of the way. It saved when E.T. and Atari fucked everything up. Nintendo and that glorious plumber saved it. Everybody, I don't care what kind of games you're into, you owe Mario your thanks. Oh my God, thank you, Mario, for like having video games, allowing video games to fucking exist. But
Jesus,
later on, there are 2 Mario games we're going to discuss. I am fine with Mario being at 21. I'm fine with it being 21. I think maybe it should belong in the teens, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. If I'm taking my personal bias, I'm fine with it. But yes, I think it's a good placement. We're going to really get into it in the next few Mario entries.
Yeah, and I agree with Derek. Mario is the Italian Jesus Plumber of Nintendo. All right,
and it still holds up. Can we get together? The game still holds up.
It does.
I mean, you got Mario Brothers 35, which, my God, Nintendo Switch, bring that back. That was great. They got rid of it. Bring it back. Like, please bring back Super Mario 35. For those who don't know what Mario 35 was, it's like Tetris 99, but the Mario version of it. But you're going against 34 other people playing a Mario randomizer. Okay, it is really, really good. The fact that we still see speed runs, the fact that like the game's been remade several times with better graphics, but even when you play the OG original, it still holds up. Like it controls for its time. It controls pretty well. I'm a Luigi guy. But yeah, I'm just
sure
like
he
that out there.
that.
Mario's still everything. So.
Yeah.
Maggie,
all right, so okay,
I think it's a great game, and you all said it best.
Yeah. Number 20 is Undertale.
I don't even know what Undertale is.
Okay, so Undertale is an indie game in like the JRPG style, like an old school style, and I think that for like being developed by one person who did the soundtrack, the gameplay, everything to it, I think it's an amazing game. For one person, they did a phenomenal job on it.
Absolutely.
It subverted a lot of like traditional RPG tropes, and it had a lot of like really unique features, like being able to play your little mini game to go through boss battles instead of like actually fighting. I don't think it deserves to be number 20. I think it should be maybe like up in the 60s or 70s.
Okay.
When we were talking about Earthbound earlier, this was the game I was thinking of that it was inspired by.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, I agree with Maggie on every point. I believe it does deserve to be lower, but there's a lot to be applauded here.
Yes.
Toby Fox knows how to make a soundtrack. So much so Nintendo actually hired him to do some of the battle themes for the Pokemon that came out that year.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, it was a great call too, because I think he did the stadium like chants for, I think it was, I forget which Pokemon that was, but that track bops. Oh, it's so good.
I'm gonna have to look into that now.
It's a good time. That said, lower placement, excellent game.
Okay.
All right. Number 19 is Bloodborne.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't even know what that is either.
I think Derek can take this one.
I'm waiting. I'm excited, but I am waiting.
I haven't played it. Jump in there.
This is one of my all-time favorite games. I fucking love this game so goddamn much.
It brings me joy to see you have joy. Just saying.
Oh my god. So, Demon Souls was my first introduction to this style of difficulty, and I remember screaming at the top of my lungs like, I can't do this. But I kept persevering and I kept pushing through my I can't do thises for every single boss, for every single mini boss. And it just progressively got better. And then we got this little gem called Bloodborne. Now, because we're getting to know the new cast here, know this about me. I love this Victorian era Gothic look Bloodborne has. It hits every note perfectly. The monsters are macabre and morose, and they have these like wonderful backstories that are also terribly tragic. It has one of the best DLCs I've ever played with damn it, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I will tell you that Lady Maria, the Astral Clock Tower, is one of my all-time favorite fights because of how beautiful and cinematic it truly is. You need to play this game if you have a PS4. Do it.
I think that was beautifully said. So that being said, we're going to move on to 18, which is BioShock.
Oh my god. I like BioShock. I'm shocked, no pun intended, that it's this goddamn high on the list. Wow. 18 is very generous for BioShock. It is. Let's get that out. I think even the most BioShock fans would even admit that 18 is way too high.
Gotta disagree.
Really?
Really?
Explain yourself.
I am going to be a gentleman and let the others speak first.
Okay.
I agree with Jay on this one. I think it's another example of a great game that I think probably should have been maybe in like the 30s or 40s.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I'm very eager to hear what you have to say about it.
I'm just making sure of one thing before we get any further, because if it's okay, this is as what I'm seeing, the only BioShock representation we have on the list, and that deserves shame. Only because BioShock Infinite is the superior game. It has an excellent twist ending. Wonderful gameplay, interesting characters throughout, would go on to inspire another one of my favorite games. I think 18 is actually perfect placement. I think it deserves 18.
I'm not mad it's on the list. It's just I'm scratching my head at 18. That's all.
I'm actually mad that Infinite isn't in its place.
Okay.
And if it was Infinite, it would need to be much higher.
Okay.
All right.
Alrighty, so 17 is The Last of Us, the original.
Oh, y'all, go ahead. Go ahead. Floor is yours. I'm just staying out of this one.
So for me, I was really impressed by how cinematic this game was. This is one of the first games that I've ever sat down and played through where it actually felt like I was playing a movie. And that was a really incredible experience. So for that, hesitantly, I'd say 17. I could see it. I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a jaded 20-something, when I tell you the first 20 minutes actually made me cry, that is nailing your story and your character's motivation superbly, and in such a way that it was so beautifully acted. And then we see the development throughout Joel's life afterwards. Troy Baker, Ashley Johnson do a stupendous job as these characters. Like, they're so good, they were almost like forced to make the sequel because of just their performances alone. I even had the pleasure of seeing them do this on stage, where they actually recreated a lot of the scenes from the game.
Oh, that's cool.
With the original cast, and I loved it. It was so fantastic. The scarcity of ammo reminded me a lot of the bygone days of Resident Evils 1, 2, and 3, and felt very survival horror. So like when you had to make a shiv on the fly, it made sense and it felt good to do. And then the online was actually it was tacked on and but it was free, but it was a good multiplayer experience, I would say. And with all of that, I think I would put it top 10. Though there are definitely some of these that I think would also belong in top 10. I'm looking down a little bit further.
Yeah.
I stand by that. I think top 10 is where it deserves to be.
Yeah, I agree. This game had awesome immersion, and it was able to move me more than most games. So yeah, I agree with Derek. And that being said, 16 is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Okay. I get The Witcher, how popular it is as a franchise, but 16, really? Come on, above Mario Brothers, above some of the ones, Last of Us.
Let's move Mario up here, Skyrim to where Mario was, and The Witcher 3 to where Skyrim was, and then I'll be okay with it.
Okay, so we're all in agreement that Witcher 3's placement is generous.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did play it through end to end. It's the best game of Gwent I've ever played.
Yeah.
That said, this was my first introduction into the Witcher franchise. I don't know if I'm alone in that, but I kind of felt like I was watching the first Star Wars for the first time, where I was kind of being introduced to these characters and their lives midway through their story. I thought Geralt was a particularly interesting character, and I loved learning about all the monsters. I love this game. I recommend it to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know that 16 is fair placement.
Okay, so again, a NerdCage agreement. 16 is generous. Again, we're not bashing the game, but just the way you guys, just based on Mario Brothers and the way you guys were talking about Last of Us, BioShock, etc., I'm definitely scratching my head here.
Yeah. All right, 15, Halo 2.
Listen,
a multiplayer masterpiece.
I think it's safe to say that not only all of us were there, everybody in the chat was there when Xbox Live went live, and what Halo 2 did for the industry. I'm fine with it. I'm not a Halo, I'm not a diehard Halo fan. Even though I'm an Xbox guy, I'm not a big Halo guy. I enjoyed the series, by the way, but I understand it. It belongs right there. It does.
I will never forget doing multiplayer with my buddy. We were doing the story mode. We weren't doing online matches. And there was a bit where we were tapped out. We were like, okay, man, I don't think I can do this anymore. And then we got to that level with the scarabs walking over the city. And then the soundtrack kicks in, and then the guitar riff.
Breaking Benjamin! Let's go!
And suddenly we were revived. We got second win, and we took those bastards down. It was great.
I work out to Blow Me Away all the fucking time, so yeah.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the theme with the new guitar riff in it.
Still.
It was.
Yeah,
forget about it. Forget about it. Love it.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll say I used to be just a campaign guy until my brother really started getting me into the Halo 2 multiplayer and everything. He was so good with it that he actually was on the verge of a sponsorship from Monster Energy to go to New York City and actually play in a tournament. And my parents couldn't afford to send him. So, but that being said, I mean, the game's a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah,
for sure.
So we're all
it's a masterpiece.
We're all okay with the placement then.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Number 14, Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, Metroidvania. Enough said. I think it's a good placement. Maybe a bit generous, but I'm not mad at 14.
I'd argue a bit generous, especially considering the games that we've discussed before.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, just based on the genre of the side-scrolling Metroidvania, like I said, I'm fine with it. I'm not, again, I might lean towards what you just said, Derek, that it's generous, so that's all I really got, really.
I agree that 14 for Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a little bit generous. Going from the first two Castlevania games, I felt like they were almost like clunky and like hard to play in a way. And this is like, I grew up playing those games as they came out. And then when I got to Symphony of the Night, being able to run around as Alucard and like use his abilities and stuff, that was the slickest shit ever for like that time and that style of game or whatever. Yeah. I do still think 14 is a little generous. I think it should be at maybe around 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
oh boy.
Is Hades.
Miss Guardian, please, and please plug your video as well.
Okay, thank you. Over on my channel, youtube.com/prettyguardian, I have a review of the game Hades. This is an action RPG in kind of almost a similar like style of gameplay, I think, in some ways, as like Symphony of the Night, but not really. It's a totally different thing. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't expecting to like this one. I normally play more like turn-based and stuff like that, but Hades was just so well done. It has beautiful graphics, a really good soundtrack, and an interesting story with like voice acting and stuff. 10 out of 10 for me. I think
it's an indie game. That's what's so amazing.
Yes.
Like
right.
4 people worked on it, or something. It was a really small team.
Under 25 people for like the whole game.
Still,
but, yeah.
This right. is like a landmark achievement in indie gaming. Let me just say this: I was sold. I haven't played it. I have it right here, still sealed. I haven't played it yet. I was sold when I saw the Nintendo Direct. But Pretty Guardian, when I saw your video, you assured me that I made the right decision, and I cannot wait to get into it. And the reason why I'm waiting. I want to make sure that I have no distraction. I need to get all my other games done. I need to make sure I'm caught up with all my NerdCage material, all my Joe. I want to be able to enjoy this, all right, and take it all in. I don't want to just.
Are you gonna do it live for us or on your own?
If Joe, I would absolutely love to play it live, actually.
Yeah,
so,
do that.
But yes, now.
I'll play anything you want me to play, Jake.
13. Now, 13. How do you feel about it? Be honest. How do you feel about it at 13?
13 is maybe a little bit generous, but I do think it's so well executed that I do think it deserves to be placed pretty close to here.
I'm really, really excited, just so you know. And I haven't played, and I'm not going to even dare say anything bad about it either. So I'm really, again, I even just looking at the box art, like it's a nice looking game. And I like the art, like. Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm really excited to get into this. I really am. Like I said, I want to take my time and enjoy this one. So
I've played a lot of Supergiant's other games. Bastion is the one that jumps to mind, and I've not played as much of Hades as I'd like, but the little bit that I have, I totally understand why it would be a 10 out of 10. And I am looking forward to like actually getting to the meat of it. And I've died like maybe 12 times, but each time I'm just like, okay, now I know to do a little bit better now. I know
you're gonna die like 100 or more.
Oh yeah. I don't expect I'm gonna beat it anytime soon. but every time I die, it's like I don't see it as a punishment. I see it as like, okay, now I know what to do a little bit better now, and just like get a little bit better as the game progresses.
And that was like one of the beautiful things about it. Like, I don't like a punishing game. Like, a Soulsborne would be hell for me.
Oh yeah.
But this game, you die and your character gets a little bit stronger. It unlocks a little bit more of the story. You get it's just so integral to the gameplay loop that it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah. It's a very brilliant way to deal with something as immense as Hades is.
Okay. Well,
right,
again, I'm excited. All right, let's go on.
I'm just going to address this one thing. Doomzilla says, in terms of indies, check out Blasphemous.
Oh, yeah. Very much akin to the Bloodborne aesthetic. It's more, graphically speaking, it's more of a GBA game, actually, which is really interesting. And it has quite a lot going for it. I don't want to say anything more. But he's right. Give it a looky-loo.
Okay.
All right. And at number 12, we have Grand Theft Auto 5.
No surprise here. I'm not a fan. I don't enjoy the series. I'm not a fan of it. It doesn't do anything for me. But I understand the fan base. I understand how big it is. I get it. That being said, I'm not mad at the placement, but I have no interest in playing it.
I actually 100%ed this game. I really enjoyed the characters. Everybody was unique in terms of like their ability to bounce off of each other. It felt like a Tarantino movie that I was just able to put my input in. That said, I do think 12 is pretty generous. I think that I stand by San Andreas being a little bit better, just because of how customizable San Andreas is versus Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yep.
There's a lot.
I think what they're going on here is the online.
And the online is great and all, but like when I was playing it, you could cheese it real easily, and there was a real frustrating aspect of it where like you pop in and you're like, okay, I have this plan for what I'm trying to do. And then you get run the fuck over by a tank.
Yeah.
It's the frustration of like us playing Fortnite, right? Where it's just like, oh, I'm gonna go do this thing. This 12-year-old has something they want to say about my mother and also just violate my corpse.
Yep.
I don't. The online is fine, but I was there for the story, and the story was fine. Actually, it was a lot of fun. But I feel like Andreas was better. That's my potential hot take.
Okay.
Well said.
All right, so number 11, Super Mario Brothers 3.
It's the second greatest Mario game of all time, and I stand by it. I will say this. There's a reason why it's not my number one Mario game, and clearly replaying it on NerdCage Live, everybody say it with me. Gaming!
I was like, but I got there.
The game controls like ass. Joe, back me up on this. Can we agree that between the other Mario game we're about to discuss in the near future in this list, controls a lot better?
I don't think.
What?
I don't think we even ended up finishing this one.
Yeah. And the game has its problems, but it's the best NES game ever made. And come on, the Wizard, anyone? Like, and I think to this day, if I'm not mistaken, it's the highest selling Mario game ever still, and the highest selling NES game still. And I like and I think what makes this Mario game special, besides the diverse worlds, is the abilities and the Koopa Kids. Clearly, Mario Brothers 3 was a pivotal point in the franchise, but it wasn't the best one.
Yeah.
That being said, at number 11, I can live with that.
Okay.
Anybody else want to chime in on Mario 3?
Nah,
I agree with you, and I can live with it at 11.
Thank you. Now, before we get to the top 10, shameless plug real quick. If you haven't already, please check out our TeePublic and it's live, and you can buy a NerdCage merchandise. So that being said, check out the NerdCage Live logo with the strength of geek knowledge on the back. Look fly when you go out. You can get this in black, blue, whatever, any color you want. Now, if you're feeling frisky or humorous or what have you, the NerdCage Live Pornhub parody shirt. Yes. So please pick up your NerdCage Live merchandise. You won't regret it. In men's and ladies, any size, any color. Hell yeah. Joe, let's move on.
All right, we have reached the top 10, and at number 10 we have Disco Elysium.
What the fuck is Disco Elysium? Someone explain to me.
A CRPG style game, like Baldur's Gate set in a modern time type of thing.
Oh, okay.
It has a lot of like story and I don't know, different like options that you can make. People say it's amazing. I can't fathom how it could be at number 10 though.
Okay.
I gotta agree. I don't know anything about the game. That said, has anybody here played it?
What?
No.
Nope. Might be better to just move on.
But that said, like, how could something that like very few people have played be top 10? That's
a good question.
That strikes me as strange, but we'll continue on.
All right, I'm already having a problem with this top 10 already, but all right.
All righty. Number 9 is Half-Life 2.
I think that Half-Life 2 should be up where Half-Life Alyx is, and I think Half-Life Alyx should be up further, maybe not on the list at all. I don't know.
I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but I do believe that it does need to be further down. But yeah, it's hard to ignore that Half-Life 2 is considered the best for a reason. That said, I don't know that those reasons necessarily hold water in modern times. I wonder. I don't think it's above Alyx, but I think it's pretty close. It should be pretty close to it.
Okay.
There's no way it should be at 9.
No.
Yeah, no way it should be 9, and then I feel the same way about the next entry here.
There are a lot of games that deserve to be higher up. I agree.
At 8, we have another Red Dead Redemption. We have Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay, I get it. Red Dead Redemption 2 is better than Red Dead Redemption 1, but number 8 of all time? No. No way. No fucking way.
Nope.
Can't speak to a game I haven't played.
I don't think so.
I can't imagine it being number 8 though.
Yeah.
All right, okay, here we go. Joe, let's get to number 7.
All right, number 7 for Jay is Super Mario 64.
Okay. Please, I want everyone to hear this. Obviously me and Joe are the elder statesmen here, but just understand there are only a very few points in my life where I see a game for the first time and I'm blown away. Like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. I cannot believe what I'm playing. I cannot believe this, and that. One of those times was Donkey Kong Country. The next time was Super Mario 64. Now, granted, it has aged, all right? But please understand, in 1996, seeing Mario in 3D, voiced by Charles Martinet, like, seeing this game, it was mind-blowing to see. It was just colorful. It was amazing. It flowed nicely. The camera control, oh my God. It was amazing. And to bring Mario from 2D to 3D, well, there was Mario RPG, but as far as platforming goes, and collectathons go, we got Mario from 2D to 3D. This was a pivotal point in gaming history. Odyssey is. But man,
don't
Super
forget,
Mario
you can
64.
push a penguin off a cliff.
Yeah, that too. Jump in the overworld, jumping into paintings. The idea of you jumping into paintings, into other worlds, The fucking Bowser fight. My God, and that fucking music and swinging the bastard by the tail. Holy fuckaroni. Please understand, this was one of the few instances in my life. As a child, I was 10. It was an incredible sight to behold. If you weren't there, you wouldn't understand. If you were not born in the 80s, you would not fucking get it. Okay? Understand that this was a pivotal point in gaming history. It was a pivotal point in Nintendo history. Mario's and the game still holds up gameplay wise, yes, but it doesn't. But graphically, now, me at 35 now, I mean, it's just woof, what happened? But at the time in 1996, it was an incredible sight to behold, and I'm happy it's here at number 7. I really am. That's all I got.
Anybody else for Super Mario 64?
Really? You guys have nothing on Mario 64? Like, come on.
My guy.
Well, I've got something, but you don't want to hear it.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead. Please,
No.
go ahead. Floor is yours.
Take cover.
So for me, back in like the SNES era, there were so many great RPGs and JRPGs and stuff that were on that console. And then I was getting ready to upgrade. And so I'm looking like, do I want the N64? Do I want the PS1? I ended up going the PlayStation route at that time. And I am so fucking glad I did, because when I looked at you plebeians over there playing these like goofy boxy games like Super Mario 64, I was so grateful that we had Crash and Spyro and all the fucking killer ass RPGs on the PS1.
You're so right though.
That's all I'm gonna say on that. But I respect that it was an influential game for y'all.
Right here.
No, she's
All right.
right.
So
I got nothing to counter that. I'm
Thank
just
you
like,
for that.
I just felt the punches and the blows like hit me as you were going on that rant.
No. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not.
I tried to keep it to myself. I did.
Oh my gosh! Like, ow! God damn! Like right in the feels. Pretty Guardian with a fucking dagger.
Look, we gave her the title queen for a reason.
I
She
know.
stabbed like her.
I appreciate our queen of the nerd cage, and I'm not gonna get mad. I'm more hurt than anything. I'm not gonna get mad. I think if Derek went on the rant, I'd probably be mad. But wow, I'm a little shocked, but I'm not gonna get upset. I understand. Please understand that this was the beginning. Okay, Nintendo won the Nintendo Sega War. Nintendo dominated.
Yeah, they did.
Then the new war started, Nintendo and PlayStation.
Yeah.
And if you
Nintendo and PlayStation were
there were
almost
two
the same
kids in
company.
school. Listen, and
Almost, yeah.
goddamn middle school. There was Mr. Goddamn Berlin, and there was the mosh pit in the music room, and then there was Nintendo 64 kids and PlayStation kids. And I stood ground with Nintendo 64, and this motherfucker right below was a PlayStation kid, and it made our friendship difficult.
Especially when I brought it into school. Anyway, moving on to number 6. Mass Effect 2, the greatest Mass Effect of the series.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, Derek, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, as Joe said, this is undeniably the best Mass Effect that there is. The cast is great. Being thrown from a really heroic position into kind of like an anti-hero position and kind of clawing your way back up to where you were, or making those statements about you really stick, was a fantastic choice. Shepard is amazing. Being able to save or condemn your crew was awesome. I love the Mass Effect franchise, save Andromeda, but this is undeniably the best Mass Effect, period.
Agreed. Pretty Guardian, anything on Mass Effect 2?
I agree.
Should I wait for Jay to get back on this one?
I think we should blow right past it.
All right, at number 4, no. At number 5, Jay, Super Metroid.
I'll let everybody else go first. Everybody else go first, and then I will say my piece. Please.
All right, I'll say I agree with the placement on this list. Me and Jay got the pleasure to play this on Twitch, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So yeah, I'll agree with where it's at.
All right.
I cannot speak to a game I have not played.
Oh, all right. Pretty Guardian, go ahead.
It is a beautiful and atmospheric game, and I think the gameplay was excellent. The art style was excellent. And jump in there, Jay, because I want to hear what you have to say.
This is my single most all-time favorite game. All-time favorite game. Just because it's my favorite doesn't mean it's the best game of all time, but it's my all-time favorite. This tickles me pink that it's at number 5. I'm shocked it's at number 5. Hands down the best Super Nintendo game. I'll say that. It's the best Super Nintendo game. What makes this game so goddamn special is not only that the Metroidvania genre of gaming. The fact that this game has storytelling as the game progresses without a single thing of dialogue. Yeah, it has an opening cinematic, but the story progresses with no dialogue. You know what's going on. The game encourage you to learn new tricks, and even if you're not like an expert gamer, and this game does hold your hand and helps you like there are skills to this game. If you have super skills and you want to keep progressing, you can. If you don't, you could still play the game, but slower.
Yeah.
It's a perfect fucking game. This is a 10 out of 10, and it still holds up. My God, like, there are games that do not age, and this is one of them. And the variety of weapons, and the most mind-boggling thing is, like, after Super Metroid, there wasn't another Metroid game for 8 years. I mean, you can kind of throw in the Super Smash Bros. Appearance, but there was no Metroid game for 8 years. And here's the thing. Every Metroid game that's come out ever since has been chasing the ghost that is Super Metroid, okay? I loved Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread's number 2 on my list. I love Metroid Prime. But none of them come close to Super Metroid. My God, this game's perfect. It's my all-time favorite game. I'm shocked it made it to number 5. I am. I'm actually shocked. Pleasantly shocked, though. I'm pleasantly shocked. This game is perfection. Derek, I am not mad you haven't played it, but you have a golden opportunity to take this game in and enjoy it. You gotta play it at some point.
I'm about to warn you. I'm about to just really make you upset coming up. You'll see.
That's fine. I'm telling you.
But yeah, don't get me wrong. I know that I'm missing out on the Metroid franchise. I really do, because I have not played a single Metroid end-to-end.
You could start with Super Metroid. It's the third.
Yeah.
It's actually technically it's Metroid 3, but the game recaps the previous events. And to be honest with you, as much as I like Metroid 1 and 2, and then for its time they are great, but the controls, there's a lot less game, and the controls aren't the greatest. The other Metroid games, as great as they are, they have aged. This game has not. You can start with Super Metroid, and if you really want to go back and play 1 and 2, you can. But Super Metroid's really the only game in this franchise you need. And
right on.
I'm not gonna get upset. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm just gonna say
you're going to.
You have a golden
I can see
opportunity.
it.
You have a golden opportunity, Derek, and I cannot wait to hear my favorite words ever, which is, Jay, you were right.
Oh. All right.
We can move on.
Alrighty. Number 4 is also going to be heavily, Jay-sided conversation. It's The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Everybody else, go first. Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Well, so I'll get the ball rolling and say that The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is the first Zelda, and actually the first and only Zelda game that I have ever played. It was on the SNES. I played it. I beat it. I loved it. It was a great game. Great puzzles, very charming graphics, and a little bit of story, kind of introducing you to the world of Hyrule and everything. Number 4 there's no way it's number 4 in my book. I don't think it did anything amazing gameplay wise. I for the life of me can't see it. So anybody else want to jump in there?
Derek, go ahead.
I cannot speak to a game I have not played.
Okay.
Me and Jay were able to play this on Twitch, and although I enjoyed it, I don't think it beats out Ocarina of Time.
No way.
Now that I've played Ocarina of Time. Maybe in certain aspects, but not in others. That being said, I think this might have to be bumped up a little bit.
This is my all-time favorite Zelda, and it's the most replayable Zelda game. And to Pretty Guardian's credit, it's a very good starting point for anyone who's new to the Zelda. I think Joe can agree to this. If you're brand new to Zelda, okay, do you agree that A Link to the Past would be a better place to start than Ocarina of Time?
Exactly, yeah, I agree with that.
There we go. Okay. I think this is if you have never played a Zelda game, this is the one to start. This is my all-time favorite Zelda game, and it is in my top 10 favorite games of all time. Seeing it at number 4 again tickles me pink. However, it's not a better game than Super Metroid. No way, no how. No way, no how. Super Metroid is, I think, I wouldn't say miles above. Super Metroid is definitely a clear cut above A Link to the Past. I'm fine with it at number 4 compared to like all these other games that we bought. I just think I think Super Metroid and Zelda: Link to the Past should be switched. Okay, that's how I look at it. But man, A Link to the Past is my favorite. It gives me the feels. It's fun to go through. It's fun to perfect. The only dungeon I don't like, and we all witnessed it on NerdCage Live Gaming, is the dungeon in the Dark Forest. Oh god, was that frustrating? And the stupid hand that grabs you. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But the rest of that fucking game, and man, I had a blast playing it with you, Joe. I'll say that Link to the Past is a mandatory replay every year for me, and I think IGN probably feels the same way, that this is not only that it's a replayable game, but it's like mandatory, like annual play.
Okay.
Should it be top 10? Absolutely. I just don't think it should be. I'm not gonna get too mad about the placement. I just don't think it's a better game than Super Metroid. It's not. But I'm also a little I'm pleasantly baffled it's above Ocarina of Time, because I actually like it more than Ocarina of Time. I know our co-hosts do not feel that way. I feel it's better than Ocarina of Time, because I feel like Ocarina of Time wouldn't exist without Link to the Past, and the whole Dark World, the whole Light World, Dark World, Ocarina of Time ripped that off with the adult Link and child Link. But yeah, it's an amazing game. I highly recommend, if you've never played a Zelda game in your life, this is where you start.
Well, to be fair, I guess a franchise is allowed to rip off from themselves.
Yeah.
That's true. That's just giving the fans what they want.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to number 3 is Portal 2.
Anybody want to chime in?
I haven't played the Portal game, so I can't speak to that.
I think it's strange that what is essentially the entire Portal franchise is in the top 100.
I know.
I agree that Portal 2 is a better game than Portal 1 because they improved upon the story. It was so interesting to see a new AI core in the form of Wheatley, who would eventually go on to be he's actually like he's doing Hollywood movies now, so it's kind of fun to like hear Wheatley, the doofy little robot, as the vampire guy in Logan, but and everything that they did with GLaDOS and giving her that mythos and story. That said, 3? Really?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's a 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm scratching my head too, but I've never played it. But
they're fun. If you haven't played any of the Portal games, please don't take this as like a jab at Portal. They are great games, but I don't know that they're top 10 material.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when I think Pinnacle Gaming, I don't exactly think Portal.
No.
Pinnacle of like physics fun, but not a top 10.
Miss Guardian.
There's no way this game belongs on number 3. Next.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, number 2, Super Mario World.
This should be number 1.
This is the Super
Yeah, it
Nintendo.
should.
Yeah, this is my Super Nintendo game forever.
Yeah,
this is
my favorite Mario of all time.
The colors, the kingdoms,
Yes!
everything was
Yes!
fantastic.
Preach!
I'm gonna pass it over to Maggie. Maggie, please.
I don't have a lot to add to that. It was a beautiful game. Like every world was engaging. All the levels were so creative. The different abilities that you got were so much fun to play through. This is like almost the pinnacle of Mario as far as I'm concerned. It was an iconic game. It should have been number 1.
Yes.
I agree.
This whole
Yes.
map is burned into my mind.
Yes.
Permanently, so.
NerdCage Live, keep
You know,
preaching
and the
the
fact
good
that
word.
all 4 of us agree on that, I think even cements that further.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes me feel so goddamn jolly, because the ongoing debate with Mario, if you're a diehard Mario fan, the ongoing debate is Mario 3 or Mario World. I stand firmly at Super Mario World, all right, over Mario 3. Any day, anywhere, anytime. Mario World. Again, annual playthrough, mandatory playthrough. It launched the 16-bit era, okay? It was... Oh my god, the control
I
is
can actually
perfect.
hear the theme song for the first world in my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like with crystal perfect quality.
Mario 64 aged. Mario World ages
it's timeless.
better. Like,
Yeah,
my only gripe, I have the most minor gripe with this game. My only gripe with this game is that Mario and Luigi are the same sprites. That's my only fucking gripe. But other than that, man, this game's just perfect in every way imaginable.
I legit did not notice that.
It's the perfect platformer. And
Yeah.
no other game comes close. And man, Joe, this actually might be a case where we may have to go back and play it again just because. It should be number 1. It should be number 1. Even if I feel even if I take my bias out of it, it should be number 1.
Speaking of number 1,
Okay.
Scott will love this. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
I'll let everybody else go.
This was my first Zelda game, beginning to end. I love this game. I think it's what Skyrim might have wanted to be later on down the line. Maybe this was like, I feel like maybe Nintendo like snuck into Bethesda's bag of tricks and like stole some stuff and made this. Because there's a lot of Skyrim's DNA in here, but with a Zelda gloss paint job. That said, with my love of this game, I don't think it's a number 1. I think that it does deserve a couple of spots back. I think it's still top 10. I don't think it's number 1.
Well said.
All right, I'd agree with that.
Or Joe. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
The only thing is that I don't think I've given this game a fair shake. Now that Jay has given me his Zelda training, I think if you don't play the other Zelda games and you jump right into Breath of the Wild, it's going to be way too overwhelming for you. It was for me. I can tell you that.
I loved it.
it was very hard for me to grasp. But now that I've played the other ones, maybe it will be easier now.
Miss Guardian.
I want to reserve my opinion. I want to go back and kind of re-explore the Zelda franchise on the whole. Just in general, I'm not a huge fan of Breath of the Wild, though. I don't even think it should have been in the top 10.
Okay. I'm just going to start off by saying that hands down, Breath of the Wild is the greatest game on Nintendo Switch. Hands down. Metroid Dread being the second greatest game. And then the third I'm torn between Mario Odyssey and Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Yeah.
I'm torn between those two at number 3, but hands down, number 2 is Metroid Dread, and number 1 is definitely Breath of the Wild. That being said, Breath of the Wild is not the best Zelda game. I think A Link to the Past is, then Ocarina of Time, then Breath of the Wild. Which pains me to say it, as much as I love this game, it shouldn't be number 1. I would feel a little better if Mario World was number 1 and Breath of the Wild was number 2. I think I can live with that, even though I would disagree. But Breath of the Wild is so vastly different from the other Zelda games, and you could die within 5 seconds if you don't know what you're doing. Seriously.
Yeah, but if you do know what you're doing, you could actually go and fight Ganon immediately.
Yes. That's the amazing. That's the thing
those?
That's the one thing I do love about the game is that it gives you free reign. You can go fight Ganon immediately, or you can do you can do whatever, or you can go explore and do all these other crazy little side missions and side stories and what have you. It's definitely the most explorable Nintendo game ever made, and it's an open world. Like, when I say open world, I mean open world. There's like no restrictions to what you can do in this game. I just feel it's just I'm more of a traditionalist. I have a major problem with there not being any dungeons at all. There is no dungeons.
There are dungeons.
No,
That's how you get. That's how you get all.
Those are not dungeons.
Your stuff. Yeah.
Those are not dungeons.
They're dungeons.
They're not dungeons. Those are trials. They're little trials. They're not dungeons. They're not dungeons. There are no monsters in the dungeons. And when you do the 3 or the 4 divine beasts, when you do the 4 divine beasts, you're fighting a different version of Ganon. There is no every Zelda game has a dungeon and a dungeon boss. They don't do that in this game, which is why it's not my number 1 Zelda game. It's my number 3. But with everything else, though, holy smokes, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's great. Like Ocarina of Time did before. There's more lore, more races of Hyrule. Shout out to those lovely Gerudian women. Just saying. I love the Gorons still. The Gorons are my dudes. But man, I like how the fact that the Gerudos were depicted as Amazon women, and I like that the Breath of the Wild, besides Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild is a more adult-oriented Zelda game. But it's not the best one. It's not. However, if we do in fact get Breath of the Wild 2 on Nintendo Switch, I'm beginning to have my doubts. I have a feeling that Breath of the Wild 2 will be the launch title to the next Nintendo. I just have a fucking feeling. I have a fucking feeling. The way this game keeps getting postponed. But Breath of the Wild 2 has an opportunity to be better than Breath of the Wild 1 by bringing in dungeons and dungeon bosses the way Zelda's supposed to be. So yeah. Not number 1, and I think Derek said it best. Is it top 10? I think we could say it could be a top 10 because it's the best game on the Switch. And the Switch is now the highest selling console of all time. So yeah. I don't think it's number 1. I feel better about somewhere in the top 10. Mario World, it shouldn't be above Super Mario World. And I think we can all agree that the Zelda franchise is not for everyone, but Mario is. Zelda
Mario
is
is for everyone.
Yeah, Zelda is not. Zelda is a certain flavor, a certain taste.
Yeah, I mean, Mario is Nintendo's Mickey Mouse. That's just what it is.
But that being said, it's an amazing game, and I think everybody should play it. And Joe, I think when we get through Ocarina of Time, I think give Breath of the Wild another shake. But just warning you, it's vastly different from any other Zelda game ever made.
Yeah.
Despite having 100.
That's the list.
Monsters in it.
Yes. Okay, so here's what I want to do. What was the most egregious thing about this list, and what games do you think should have been on this that wasn't? And you can, whatever comes to mind. So, Joe, I'll let you go first, because, yeah.
I think the Resident Evil stuff was way up there. So was the Final Fantasy VII being as low as it was. As for games that need to be on the list, I didn't hear mention of Contra anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. You know, I'd have to think on the other titles, but that's the one that came to my mind first. I take that back. There are no Sonics on this list either.
Yeah.
There's almost no
seems
Sega
egregious.
stuff.
Yeah, that's a
Let's
bit
be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Or Spyro. Like I feel like
no Spyro,
no Crash Bandicoot.
Was there one Crash? No.
No Crash Bandicoot, no Spyro, no Sonic.
Yeah.
There's some weird mishaps in here.
Yeah.
So I think the worst thing on this list was Spelunky 2. That for me was like one of the biggest WTF moments. And then as far as games that I think should have made the list, when we got to Witcher 3, the first thing that popped into my mind was, why aren't any of the Dragon Age games on this list? They were amazing CRPG games, really like in-depth lore and like the choices you got to make. And there's a whole ass franchise of them. Like we're gonna be going on to like getting a Dragon Age 4 here soon. And
I have a feeling when it comes to Dragon Age, they looked at BioWare and said, Mass Effect. You know?
Okay.
That's still a weird choice though, because those games are so different from one another.
Right.
Like it would be like comparing Knights of the Old Republic to Mass Effect. Like they're that different.
Yeah.
I'm looking through it. I'm trying to see if there's like what.
Doom says no Devil May Cry. I noticed that too. No Bayonetta.
I agree. I love my Devil May Cry.
I'm not bothered by that, honestly.
It could have been a replacement for some of these. And I would have been told, we'll put it at 75 just for Maggie. So Spelunky 2 would get knocked out, and I could put Devil May Cry 3 there, and I'd be a happy man.
So I got a few. Okay, actually, there. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Trying to think of what else deserves to be in this spot. I would have swapped Persona 5 for Persona 4, but that's a personal bias, and I understand that. BioShock Infinite needed to be replaced with BioShock. There's a couple of other ones that, admittedly, I know I'm drawing a blank on, but let's see. Egregious. Obviously, Resident Evil 2 needs to be substantially higher.
Like I said, I think we all agree. Swap 2 and 4.
Yeah.
That's one of my egregious thing. That
I'm gonna be here forever, so go ahead and just say what you gotta say.
GoldenEye should have been like a place higher, like better score. 77 was way too high. It should have been like in the 50s or 40s or something, just because of the influence. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm shocked. No Wii Sports. That's a little baffling because Nintendo revolutionized motion control and motion gaming. Wii Sports should have been there somewhere. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, even though Sonic 3 is my favorite, I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 should have been there. I could live with Sonic 2 replacing Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I could live with that because they're platformers. I'm a little surprised Cuphead didn't make the list. Just because on the animation and what it did for indie gaming.
Mm-hmm.
There are no sports games. What the fuck? Like no Madden,
that's not a surprise to me.
no punch out.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I've always been the type of person.
NBA Jam,
play sports
like
games,
what the
go
fuck?
outside and play the sport.
NBA Jam was not only a sports game, it was an arcade
sports
game.
games on here. We had the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 or whatever, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Well, if you want to count that as a sport.
Yeah, okay, we can throw that in there.
That's more of an arcade.
but no NBA Jam or Madden or Punch
that's
Out.
fine with me.
little surprising there. Again, Wii Sports. Again, besides that's a sports game, but like I said, motion controls. I think that should have been in there because of the Wii.
Should I start doing rapid fire? No Spider-Man. No superhero. Well, besides
Batman. I think Batman Arkham City is the greatest superhero game ever made, and you can kind of say, okay, well that represents superhero games.
All right.
No Kingdom Hearts.
No Fatal Frame.
Oh, that's a fair point. No Kingdom Hearts.
No Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
No Clock Tower. No Nightmare Creatures. No
Dance Dance Revolution. I'm a little
I can live without that, Jay.
I mean, okay.
No Guitar Hero. None of that.
I was saying there was no rhythm games. Yeah, no Rock Band.
No Wii Sports.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, no Soul Calibur either. I didn't even notice that.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, but you got Street Fighter 2, you got Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I think as far as fighting games go, those two made it in. And Persona, and if you want to count Persona.
Ghost of Tsushima, yeah.
I have an idea of something we should do sometime.
Yeah.
We should all make a list of our top 25 games and compile our own list of 100 and argue out the placement of all of them onto the list.
Oh, that might be fun. Yeah.
Oh god, that's gonna be a long stream.
Yeah.
We can curate it a little.
Yeah.
I could just imagine like the welcome to my PowerPoint presentation. My name is Derek.
Yeah. 6 hours
That's
later.
more of the thing that what we can do is we can compile a list, throw it up on Facebook, and have the chat argue it out.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of a 3-hour tour.
Actually, how about this? We can throw a challenge at the at chat. Okay, so how about this? If we can get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll do that stream.
Oh god.
Yes. Okay.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
We're at 565 right now, so just get us up to 1,000, and we'll do our top 25 compiled into top 100 games.
Yeah.
We'll do a full tier list.
Yeah.
Get on it.
That's a great idea. I
have my
thank
moments.
you, Derek, Miss Guardian. Brilliant idea.
It's very easy to do. All you need to do is really just steal your friend's phone and go into YouTube and hit subscribe. There you go.
Take your mom's phone. Subscribe to us there.
There you go, guys. So 1,000 subscribers, we'll do the our version of the top 100 games of all time, and then at 1,500, Xbox Series X giveaway. Just throwing it out there.
Yes.
And don't forget to get your NerdCage merch. Woo!
Get your swag on.
With more designs on the way. 'Cause I am sure that Miss Guardian and Derek have designs, in mind. And
NerdCage the flamethrower.
I know Joe and I are gonna make a NerdCage Live Jesus shirt.
Yes, and a hat probably.
Yeah. So don't worry, more designs to come. But you can get your logo and start geek knowledge with the Pornhub one. You can get both or one of them. Or, they make a great gift for a loved one.
Yes.
They open it up like, what is NerdCage Live?
Yeah.
What?
Put it on your dog. We don't care. Just buy them.
I think I've seen this logo before. Is this a porno site? All right. I guess we can, on that note, we can wrap things up. Before we go, I just want to let our newest additions again. Thank you. And go ahead and plug. Go ahead and plug your what you guys are working on and what you guys got going on. Starting with Pretty Guardian.
Well, in the next week, I'm going to be putting out a video about the top 5 cozy games that I am looking forward to. Games that aren't out yet, but are going to be coming out hopefully within the next year or so. And you can find those on youtube.com/prettyguardian. And, I was just so happy to go through this list with you tonight.
Absolutely. And I am the one who nerds.
I am working on a project that I've been working on for months now, but I'm going to keep a lid on for a little while longer. I will be premiering it here at NerdCage, so be sure to subscribe, give the thumbs up, ask Jay where my content is. It's coming, I swear, but I need it to be just right. And as we get closer, I will divulge more information as time goes on. So stay tuned.
And we got rapid reviews on the way. So we know there's a lot of media that's out there that we definitely got to react to. Joe, tell them about Wednesday.
Wednesday, we are doing a look back of King Kong versus Godzilla, 1962.
Yes, the Japanese version, the best version, and the best movie with these two monsters in it. Just saying. And I'm very much looking forward to chopping it up with everybody here on screen, and we may have some really very special guests along with us. Some NerdCage Live familiar faces, but trust me, it's going to be exciting because, again, I'm excited to geek out over this movie. And can't wait to hear, Pretty Guardian's perspective and Joe's perspective because they haven't seen it. And it's going to be a good taste of the pure Showa era Godzilla-ism. It's going to be great.
Yes.
And then, Joe, go ahead and plug what we're doing on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Alrighty. On Tuesdays, we are doing Bayonetta, our favorite Bullet Witch. And on Fridays, we're going to go back to Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Yes. We're going to wrap up the child timeline and a whole lot of Jesus moments, just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, that was fucking fun last night.
Yes.
But yes, again, thank you to everybody. This is your official NerdCage Live moving forward. So, yeah, so cheers to everybody on screen. Let me get my audience queued up here. Where's that? Yes!
Roar. Roar. Scared.
Yes. So again, if you're new to the channel, again, stick around, hit the subscribe button. If you are already here and you're a longtime NerdCage Nation guy or gal, please spread this shit like syphilis. Let's grow our audience. Let's grow together. And yes, please join NerdCage Nation, our awesome Facebook discussion group, as well as the Discord is now NerdCage Live. Discord is now live. So please check those out. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, both handles at nerd_cage. And yeah, more to come, I promise you, and we will see you guys next week. That being said, we please ask you to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and spread that shit like syphilis. So USA from yours truly, Syracuse, New York, Portland, Oregon, and Los Angeles, California, to all of our friends and fans around the world at NerdCage Live. Enjoy life. Stay safe. Eat your vegetables and do your push-ups. Again, spread the good word. And good night.
Take care of yourselves out there, folks.
Good night.
Stick around for these awesome promos and get trapped in the cage, motherfuckers. Hey, what's going on? I'm Jay St. G.
And I'm Joe from FallenOne Gaming.
And we have a special message from NerdCage Live and NerdCage Live Gaming. Because we know a lot of y'all like the game, right? Well, we decided here at NerdCage that we wanted to give away something special. A big thank you. Not only a thank you, but we need your help too. Joe, what is it that we're giving away?
We are giving away an Xbox Series X.
Yes! Brand new. See? Right here, still sealed. We are giving this sucker away. But in order for us to give this away, we need your help. Get us to 1,500 subscribers and we will give this away.
If you guys get us to 1,500 subscribers, this can be all yours.
United States and Canada only. We're not shipping all over the world, all right?
Yeah.
So here's how this is gonna happen. Get us to 1,500 subscribers, and then we're gonna release another video on how you can enter. This is not gonna be the only giveaway. So the first prize, obviously, will be the Xbox Series X, brand new, shipped right to you. Second prize will be a digital $100 gift card from Amazon.
Third place will be a $50 digital Amazon card.
Now, listen, if you get us to 1,500 subscribers, just maybe, we'll do another giveaway. 1,500 subscribers, and this bad boy can be yours. Keep it tuned to NerdCage Live when we release the second video on how to enter once we hit 1,500 subscribers.
Come on. Our treasured left eye will never fall into the hands of another.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe. Okay. Shoot it!
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom! Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe. The galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live.
Ooh, trying to get out of the Nerdcage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!